Okay.
Okay. Welcome to C5, everybody. We're going to just play this video here. Just wait 3 more minutes. We start this at 10 a.m. Central Time, so we'll get started here in 3 minutes.
In a world where speed is everything, C5 Expedite dared to dream bigger and deliver excellence every step of the way. Founded by Clayton and Dean Ramsden, C5 started with one truck and a singular goal: serving customers at the highest level possible. Today, with over 90 Sprinter vans and a dedicated team, C5 is America's #1 expedite platform. Our journey, filled with challenges and triumphs, reflects our unwavering commitment to customer service. From our humble beginnings to now serving over 200 loyal customers nationwide, C5 has completed thousands and thousands of shipments. At C5, our mission is clear: to provide high-quality, reliable shipping services and unexpected expedited shipments. Our core values. C5 is built on a strong foundation of core values that guide our every action and decision. These values define who we are and how we operate. Gratitude. We're grateful for the trust our customers place in us. Dependability. They rely on us to deliver as promised. Honesty. We believe in transparent and honest communication. Perseverance. Challenges are opportunities for growth. Punctuality. We value your time and strive to be on time every time. Respect. We treat every customer and colleague with the utmost respect. Teamwork. We work together to achieve common goals and overcome challenges. Introducing our comprehensive services, your solution to seamless logistics. Expedited shipments. When time is of the essence, trust C5 to deliver your goods with speed and precision. Trade show shipments. Make your mark at exhibitions and events with our specialized trade show shipping services. White glove shipments.
Hello. Hello.
Delicate items to high-value products. Our white glove service ensures your cargo arrives safely and securely. Cargo insurance.
Yes. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Can I call you back?
Protect your investment with our comprehensive cargo insurance coverage, giving you peace of mind every step of the way. Shipping services you can count on. At C5, dependability is our promise. With live quotes, 24/7 visibility, and asset-based coverage nationwide, you can trust us to deliver every time. Our team, fueled by passion and dedication, grew stronger with each passing year. From Wisconsin Rapids to Oak Brook to Naples, our family extended across the nation. From trade show exhibitions to industry accolades, we celebrated every success, big or small, knowing that each milestone brought us closer to our goal. As the years went by, we continued to evolve and adapt, always staying true to our core values of integrity, reliability, and customer satisfaction. Thank you for being a part of the C5 journey.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Dean Ramsden's my name. I'm one of the owners here of C5 Expedite and C5 Logistics. Before we get started here, I just want to finish the roll call, just so my team can connect with you. There was 5 others that joined on after we started the video. So there's a Jamie and a Cloyd, CLOYD, a Brian, a Peter, and a Denaro. That's if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So if you guys can connect with them, look on the list. Your recruiter will connect with you and message you privately during this webinar. We do this every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central Time. And we are looking for more owner operators to join our team. So I'll just tell you a little bit about our company, and then we'll go into a PowerPoint presentation here. So again, we started a little over 10 years ago with my son. We started with 1 truck, and then every 90 days we would add another truck, and then another truck, another truck, and we built up about 15 trucks. And then in 2020, we went to the owner operator model, and we built it up to over 90 Sprinter vans. That number will change, depends on the economy and the weather and things like that. And so we specialize in Sprinter vans or vehicles at under 10,000 pounds GVWR. And by the way, Jesse is coming in here. So we specialize, and so is a Trent and Paula Taylor. We specialize in the Sprinter vans that are under 10,000 GVWR for several reasons. One is if you are 10,001 pound, you now are subject to all the DOT rules, means you have to stop at weigh scales, you have to have electronic logs, you can only drive 11 hours in a day out of 14 hours. And so you're just subject to a lot of the DOT rules. If you can stay underneath that 10,000, you're not subject to it. Even a medical card. We used to require medical cards. We no longer do that. And then we have another company called C5 Logistics. And so we have dispatchers that work for us, and we have brokers that work for us. On the brokerage side, they always look to fill the C5 trucks first on the Expedite. So our owner operators are spread across the country. We have a lot of them in Texas and Georgia are our 2 biggest states. But we have them sprinkled, with the other states as well. So then also what the broker does is we work with about 800 different partner carriers in the brokerage. So if they cannot find a truck, a C5 Expedite truck, then they broker it out to one of our partner carriers. A lot of companies do not have both the Expedite side of things and also the brokerage side of things. I call it like a left hand, right hand, wax on, wax off. So you really have not only the dispatchers working for you, but the brokers are also out there negotiating as well. We've built up to a really nice team that works behind the scenes. We have about 50 people that work behind the scenes. Half of them are in the Philippines. They do track and trace for us. So they're tracking all the shipments 24/7. Dispatch support, they'll be in contact with you constantly. See if you want loads. And then there's a dispatch team over there. There's American dispatch team, brokers there, here, accounting, recruiting. And I'm sure I'm missing one of them or 2 of them. Rebecca's also on this Zoom with us. She's our safety director. Sue's on here is our fleet manager. And then there's other recruiters on here as well. And so I'm just going to move into this presentation here. Just bear with me. So we are looking for overnight Expedite drivers. And what that means is that you're willing to go out for at least 3 weeks. Most drivers, you really need to be able to sleep in your vans. If you sleep in the hotels, it will just eat up all your profits. And so we recommend the 3 week and the 1 week off, but you can dictate whatever your schedule is. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Our goal is really to become America's #1 expedite carrier. That's our plan. That's what we've been working on the last 10 years. We've had tremendous growth. We started with 0. And I think our first year was around $30,000. And 2022, we hit like 17 million. The last 2 years have been a little on the struggle bus. We've been 14 to 15 million between in there. Our goal is to get to 100 million. So we have a nice sales team that we're building. And also we need owner operators as well. We have over 200 plus loyal customers. We started in 2014. We truly are a family business. All our family is in the business here. My immediate family is in there. Also, we've employees that have been with us for a long time. We have over 90 Sprinter vans. We've shipped thousands and thousands of loads. We specialize in the expedite freight solutions. Our customers, we've done things for SpaceX. We've done things for John Deere. We've done medical supplies. We do things in getting generators when hurricanes come in. Whatever the situation, we're on and we go. We never know where we're going to go the next day. You as drivers don't know. It's kind of like the military, the police, the fire department.
You slow down.
I'm just going to have you mute out here. If you got noise in the background, I just muted that person out. We have a very supportive environment for our independent owner operators, but we are committed to timely, reliable, efficient services. That is our motto, where your deliveries are always delivered on time. Our customers' deliveries are always delivered on time. So that is our motto. So again, this is an overnight expediter position. You need to provide your own Sprinter van under 10,000 pounds. You don't want to go over that 10,000. Most vans weigh around 6,000 pounds. And by the time you figure your body weight and your bedding, if you have a generator, you want to be able to haul a minimum of 2,500 pounds. Again, you can own. You're going to make more money if you own or rent. Some people rent to get in this business. Of course, your rental company is going to make money. There's some benefits to that, though. You don't have to worry about repairs. They'll get you a new vehicle if the vehicle, and they're brand new vehicles, but on the other side, they also are more expensive to pay insurance on as well. You can earn up to 75% of the gross revenue on a weekly payout. So we're paying you the lion's share of the money. The other 25%, our sales team gets a commission. Our brokers and dispatchers get a commission that book the loads. Our operating team, our operating expenses, we survive on the other 25%. So I mentioned we do have a flexible schedule. The ideal, though, is if you go out for 21 days, which is 3 weeks, and then you have 7 days off, you really will have like 16 weeks of vacation. We have other drivers that will drive for 2 or 3 months, and then they'll take a month off. When it comes to a vehicle requirement, we don't accept any vehicle that's older than 12 years old, because when you get about that 12 years, you start having breakdowns. So we want to make sure that our drivers are not having breakdowns. When it comes to being your business or your vehicle or your license, we don't do business. Of course, Alaska and Hawaii, we don't do business in. But there's 3 main states: California, New Jersey, and New York. We don't do business in those states. California went after FedEx several years ago, cost them millions and millions of dollars to fight it. And we just won't do business in those 3 states. Then our insurance comes along and says Louisiana, Massachusetts, or Virginia. They don't like the vehicles being in those states for some odd reason. But as long as you got a question or somebody. Okay.
Excuse me, my vehicle is registered to Massachusetts.
Say that one more time.
My vehicle registered to Massachusetts.
Oh, in Massachusetts. Yeah. The insurance company will not take it if it's registered in Massachusetts. So you either if you want to work for us, you need to move that to a different state. You can re-register it in a different state.
Okay.
Because our insurance won't take it. And then also you have to look at this stuff if you're going to rent a vehicle, you got to make sure, because you might rent that vehicle in Tennessee, but that vehicle might be registered in Massachusetts. So you really have to watch it. What's that?
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to mute that person out. Now, the best van, to be honest with you, is like a Ram ProMaster 3500 high roof. You can haul at least 3 pallets in that. If you look at that photo behind me, we used to buy those vehicles. They're hard to get. We could haul 6 pallets in there and stay underneath that 10,000 GVWR.
Hello,
Those are,
can you
yep,
hear me?
I can hear you. Yep,
I have a Ford Transit high roof extended. It's
yep,
160 from the rear of the seats to the back door. Would that work?
100%. Beautiful. That's a beautiful van. Yep.
Okay. Also, I have a question about the NTL.
All
I currently have full coverage on this thing through my insurance company,
Yep.
and
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
all right,
Okay. We'll
all
get to
right.
that.
Thank
I
you.
got to ask you on that van, what's your payload on that van?
I'm not sure what the payload. The GVWR is 9,500.
Okay. What you should do, that's just not for you, but for everybody, you really need to go to like a truck stop and
And weigh it.
weigh it. Yep. And then you want that case if you ever stop by the cops, you can say,
Yeah.
hey, this is what I weigh empty with my body weight. I mean, 1 pound can throw you off.
Yeah, when you go weigh it, you don't want to go weigh it with it
Mm-hmm.
loaded with stuff in it unless you're trying to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, it's a perfect van. We'll need to know, dispatch is going to need to know, what all the dimensions are. And I'm going to go into that right now. I'm just going to
Yeah.
mute you just for right now, just so I don't get back. But if you have a question, feel free to come back on. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. All right. So, as we're talking about dimensions, the minimum though is 100. I think he had 168. I think he said, no, that's a beautiful van because you can haul 3 pallets, or if there's something, a long, pole or something, whatever you need to put in there, but the minimum is 100 inches. And then the width between the wheel wells is 50. And the height is 48. That is bare minimum. If you can't make the 48, and that can't be the top. That's under that clip where you close the doors. It's underneath that. So that's the bare minimum. But the bigger the van you have, the more money you're going to make because you're going to have better opportunity.
Hey,
Okay, when it
Dean, how
comes,
you doing today?
good, Janero, how are you?
I'm so well. I'm so happy that I'm on here, and I apologize for cutting you off. But I really had a question to ask.
All right, go ahead. All right, now you went muted on me there, Janero.
Uh-oh. I
Yep.
currently just started in the logistics business, and
Yep.
I started my LLC and got everything
Hello.
going. I'm in the process of trying to get a truck.
Okay.
Is there any way that I could be accommodated to help to bring some capacity to C5?
We'll talk about that, about renting vehicles here just in a minute.
Understandable.
You just bear with me here. We'll get to it.
Thank you so much, sir.
You bet. So when it comes to, all right, if we could just hold questions just to the end, I would appreciate it. We are recording, so your questions are very important to me. But let me just get through this, and then we'll take your questions.
Okay, thank you.
So we talked about the van. The next thing we got to talk about is drivers. Now we have some fleet owners as well, where the owner owns the van and then they split a deal with the driver. Okay. So when it comes to the driver, the insurance company is between 23 and 70. You have to have a 2-year commercial driving. You can drive Uber or pizza or whatever, just as long as you have 2 years of commercial driving. You got to have a clean driving record. We do pull an MVR on you, and you cannot have more than 2 tickets in the last 3 years that total 4 or more points. Don't apply. There is a $25 application fee. I don't want you wasting your money. So if you have tickets, don't just wait till that clears off the record and then come back to us. And no at-fault accidents in the last 5 years. Sometimes we'll see there's a no-fault accident, and sometimes it looks like it's a fault, but you have to provide the paperwork that shows that it was a no-fault accident. So if that's where somebody hit you and you're at fault for it, but you really got paperwork that says you're not at fault, we can submit that to the insurance company. Absolutely no DUIs or drug record in the last 10 years. Now, you might find this a little crazy. if, we're very strict on this DUI business, drugs, and no accidents and things like that. But if you had a past felony, we would take you. I'm not sure if we have the time record on that. So you're going to have to correct me wrong if our policy has a time record on that. But but if you do have a felony, mainly from years ago, in the last 10 years, is the military bases just won't. You can't go on military bases. We used to have certified DOT medical cards. We did get away with that because it's not required. And then you must qualify for this insurance liability program. There's a fee that applies to that. And that gentleman was asking about that. So that's what we're going to go into next, is talking about insurance. So there's two big hurdles with this thing. One, and you heard both questions. One is the vehicle. How do I get a vehicle? Some of you have vans. I can see you're driving vans now. So if you don't have a vehicle, how do you get it? And then how do you understand this insurance thing? So I'm going to explain it to you. The first one is you have to have a non-trucking liability of at least $1 million. You have to put, it's a COI, certificate of insurance. You have to list C5 Expedite as an additional insured. And you also want to make sure that you have physical damage coverage on it. In the event that you hit something and the vehicle is ruined, you're going to want physical damage on it. If you're renting, I highly recommend you take the rental company's physical damage, and I'll explain that in a second. Now, the other gentleman that was on here talking about insurance, he says, I already have my own policy, full coverage and this and that. Will you accept that? So some of you may have your own MC/DOT number. A lot of people say, hey, I want to get in this business and I want my own MC and I want my own DOT number. And that's great. That's the American way. The problem with that is you have to have customers. You can be in your own business, but if you don't have customers, you don't have anything. 0 times 0 is 0. So with us, you can, if you have your own MC and DOT number, the insurance companies charge you more money for that. Okay, and you don't need to go down that road. You can pause your DOT MC number and get a non-trucking, which is a lot cheaper to do, and we have a source for that. You don't have to use him, but he's a great source. He's out of the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area, Toby Hartman, and I'll just show you a quick video on him later. But he handles this non-trucking liability. The second part of it is because you operate under our MC, our DOT number, we have to provide the insurance to the public, and that fee is $300 a week. Okay, it's based on all kinds of factors, from driving records to the year, make, and model of vehicles, and it covers several things. One of the things it covers is liability. Okay, up to $1 million liability. And then motor truck coverage, it says 100, but we go up to whatever the demand is. If we're hauling a jet motor or something for SpaceX, that thing could roll up to $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for that part. So we cover all the cargo insurance. And then we cover this with motor truck general liability, which pays, this is an odd one, pays for injuries or property damage that contractor may cause because of business activities not directly related to the use of the truck. Because you are representing C5, and I'll show you a video on where that could happen. Would fall probably under that category. There is a $2,500 deductible. And then the third component, or the third component, you got your non-trucking, you have this policy. Our customers want our drivers to have either an owner occupational accident policy or workers' comp. If you're going on their property in the middle of winter, let's say, and you slip and fall, hit your head, you have a concussion, they want you to be covered. Now, it's sometimes hard to get a workers' comp. If you have a workers' comp policy and single, you can get that and give that to us, or owner occupational, but they're very hard to get. This is a group policy, and it's $54 a week. So the two fees, there's $25 application fee, and that's a one-time fee, but then it's a $354 a week, and it covers these two policies here. And if you have questions on it later, I'll gladly we'll go into more detail with you on that. Now let's talk about making money. We see anywhere from $2,500 to $6,500 a week. You do not want to be in this $2,500 a week category. You will go out of business at $2,500 a week. All right. You need to be a minimum of 4,000 and hit 5 and 6,500. In really, really good times, drivers have been able to hit more and more. We're not quite there. You just watch the news. We're at a tariff flux right now, right? So, but we're trying to president is trying to bring more business to the United States here. Everybody has difference of opinions on that. I can't control that, right? But I know that our team works very, very hard to negotiate every load that we get. Sometimes when we're negotiating against 30, 40, 50 other companies. And we'll win loads because of our reputation, the time that we've been in business, and our service that we are to the customers. So you can receive up to 75% of the gross income. And how we do that? What's the difference between 70 and 75 is we start everybody at 70. We want to pay you 75, but sometimes drivers start putting restrictions on. Oh, I don't want to go here. I don't want to go there. I don't want to do this. I don't want that. I want to go back home. And if you start putting restrictions on, nobody's making any money. You don't make any money. We don't make any money. So at 4,000 a week, then you go to 75%. Okay, some additional other benefits. It's not a forced dispatch. If you don't want to run, don't run. If you want to take a day off and you say, I need a mental health day, go ahead, take a mental health day. You are your own boss. You determine the route. The only thing that we give you is a pickup time, and you have to be there at that time, and you have a delivery time, and that's all determined by the customer, not by us. Pickup time, delivery time. And if you want to know the honest truth of how that's calculated, they take the miles from point A to point B, and they calculate it as if you were driving 45 miles an hour. And that gives you ample time to get there. We have a 24/7 on-call support team. Wonderful team. They're in the Philippines. They work hard 24/7. If they don't answer the phone, the call rotates to a United States call center. They attempt to call them back. If they can't reach them, they start calling our team and they start waking up. I've been woken up many times in the middle of the night on different situations. It could be an accident. It could be a breakdown. I haven't been involved in a long, long time, but it's possible. But our team is there to support you 24/7. We have a great back-end administrative support. That a regional office, admin office is out of Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. A great team there that helps manage the paying, the collecting. We have to make sure that we're doing business with customers and we're getting paid. And we pay weekly, electronically, every Friday. So that's why you have to be in your own business. First thing that you're going to need is an EIN number to open up a business banking account, and we pay you weekly. We do not pay to any individual. We pay to your business. We used to have an escrow. We no longer do that. Some people liked it. Some people didn't. We just got rid of it. We do offer emergency weekly fee-based advancements. I highly recommend that you don't use it, but if you are in dire need, you need money, they'll loan you money based on if you have loads on the book. There is a fee for it. It's $35 in the day. If you do it after 6 o'clock at night or on the weekend, it's a $50 fee. I highly recommend you don't do it. Manage your own money, but if you need it, we can get you money. All right, on this one, this gal, phenomenal gal. She was with us for quite a while. She did this movie, a video in about 4 months. She was out of Parma, Idaho. Problem, she lost some family members during COVID, and then she got pregnant. She had to go off the road, but she says some very key important things in this video I want you to just listen to. And at that point, we used to lease vehicles. We no longer do that, okay?
Hello, ladies. The reason why I'm making this video today is a great opportunity to be an owner-operator. Why I say this? Because I'm an owner-operator. I decided to do this on my own with the help with C5 Expedite. That is the carrier that I am with that gave me this great opportunity to lease this vehicle here and start my own business and go out there and make some money. Now, there's not a lot of us ladies out there as it is, going out there doing this commercial van, truck driving business. I am encouraging you all to go out there to have this great opportunity to work with C5 Expedite. They gave me an opportunity. I've been working for them for over 4 months now, and I cannot complain anything about them. So if you could put in your business opportunity with C5 Expedite, the carrier, and believe me, you won't regret it. And it's been a great opportunity for me. I make great money and it's worth it. Remind you, you have to be a road person, okay? You're gonna be out there for a very long time. Be patient. We're all on commission, okay? The broker is, C5 is, and we are as well. So don't miss out on this opportunity, okay? You guys have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Okay, there's something key that she said there, is that everyone is on commission. And that's kind of the point that I wanted to mention to you, is that the brokers, dispatchers, everybody's on commission. And so we compete against our competitors and we win for many different reasons. And it's one of the ways we win is because we're competitive. And our owner operators, you have to figure out when to be competitive. There's times you have to give, and there's times you have to that you're going to win. And so our dispatchers know we've got a really cool computer system that matches loads to where the drivers are. It's kind of like an AI. It knows automatically what amount of loads are in that area of where those trucks are at. So with all that being said, let's take some of your questions, okay? Does anybody have any questions?
And there are questions in the comment section.
In the chat, yes.
In the chat? Okay. All right, we'll start there. Okay, for tax purposes, at the end of the year, we'll receive a document stating what was deducted from your pay. You'll get every week, you'll get a weekly report. So if you have a gross amount, okay, and then you'll have your deductions, which the only two deductions we're taking off is the insurance and the owner occupational policy of 354, unless there was an advancement. And then whatever your net pay is, you'll get a 1099 for that. And that's the actual pay that you received. So it'll be up to you to report. You can report that gross number and then you report all your deductions, but that's going to come to you weekly. Okay. We don't send an annual report on that. You'll have to track it yourself, and then we'll give you a 1099 sent to you. All right. Will we be compensated for truck orders not used? Yeah. And normally that's like a $150 deal. Where you get dispatched to a load and then all of a sudden it blows up, something happens to it. Those fees are normally around 150 bucks. I also want to mention detention pay too. If you get there and there's normally a 2-hour window. Of course, we want to be on time with our deliveries, but let's say you get there and they make you sit. It's a 2-hour window that you'd have to sit, but if it would go on beyond that, then you start getting paid, and that rate is normally around like $50 an hour detention time. I've seen some astronomical ones. Somebody had to sit a weekend, and FedEx actually was contacted through FedEx, and FedEx paid like $1,800 to sit over like a Memorial Day or Labor Day weekend. So, but that's rare, but it does happen. Do you offer for deadhead? What happens is in this business, it's not perfect, right? You got, sometimes it's perfect and sometimes it's not perfect. And yes, you have to deadhead, and the dispatcher normally calculates, they know where you're sitting, they know where the load is, they know where you got to go. They easily add that up, and they compete and bid depending on where you're at. One vehicle might be 30 miles out. Another vehicle might be 2 hours out. It might be a really good load, and a guy's sitting 4 hours out. You know what I mean? So it kind of really depends on where you're sitting, where the load is, and where it's going. All I can say is that we are human beings. The dispatch is human beings. It's a competitive business, but they're trained and they know how to negotiate the loads, and they do the best for you and for us. Again, we don't make any money either. If you're not making money, we're not making money. Another question, can you go over the EIN bank account? Yes, I will do that in a second. Your business banking account must match that's Sue's response. Your settlements are paid on Friday. So I'll just go over settlements, for example. So when you start out, you might start out on a Wednesday, right? Or a Thursday. So what we do is weekend loads is where you normally make your most money. That's why you want to go out for 3 weeks, because you can get 2 nice weekend loads where you pick up on a Friday and deliver on Monday. Any loads that are delivered on Monday by noon and you submit it to the billing department, that will be part of your pay on that following Friday. So then on Wednesday, anything that's billed out by Monday noon, We submit to our factoring company. We're paid by Wednesday. It's then calculated on Wednesday. The bank is notified on Thursday. Of course, they need 24 hours to transfer the money into your account. So every Friday, you get paid up until that Monday load. All right, I have to rent a vehicle to start. Is there anything you can recommend for it? Yeah, we do have a resource guide. A lot of your Enterprise, Penske, are really your two biggest players in that market. I mean, they're nationwide. So that's really your best bet. But I would definitely, I would only do that on a temporary basis. You can buy some nice used vans out there. You got to remember the rental company is in business to make money as well. Think of their overhead, right? What's the average rate for the loads? It's really hard to determine because it's kind of like the stock market. Sometimes it's all based on supply and demand. So if you have a lot of trucks in the area, okay, if you get down to Laredo, Texas, there might be 150 trucks just sitting right there at the border waiting for a load to go. I mean, and sometimes we don't like playing in that game, so they might send you north, send you up to San Antonio or, further. It's kind of their thing. If people say, okay, where do you get freight from? If you were to draw a line from New York City to Fargo, North Dakota, down to El Paso, Texas, over to Atlanta, Georgia, and back to New York City, that is the kind of the triangle that we like to do business in. Couple bad states. Florida is a state, all right? Especially if you live in Florida, and we have a lot of drivers from Florida, but if you're in Florida, there's nothing manufactured in Florida here, right? There's a lot of fruits, right? Oranges, grapefruit, but you got to get out of there and you got to get up into that Atlanta mark. If you study the gross domestic product in our country, there's a triangle between the Carolinas, Tennessee, even up to Ohio, down into Georgia, that they produce a third of the gross domestic product in the United States. So we do no business in Montana, Idaho. We get some drivers out of Washington that you can run up and down the coast, from LA. You might get a nice run to LA. Then you got to decide, hey, do you want to run up and down the coast? Otherwise, you got to try to work your way back to Arizona and Texas and get back into the fishing again. Sometimes you get a run to Colorado. There ain't nothing in Colorado. So you got to get more money going to Colorado, but you might have to deadhead back to Omaha or Kansas City to pick up a run. So it's a give and take business, but if you're willing to go, the dispatchers will do everything they can for you. Here's another thing you have to consider. If you're sitting in Atlanta, Georgia, you're like, okay, I can go to New York, I can go to Michigan or Wisconsin, I can go to Texas. But let's say you're in Texas and you're saying, I want to go back home to Atlanta. They're not necessarily can get you a straight run from Texas to Atlanta. You might have to go up to Oklahoma City. You might have to get up to Iowa, or I don't know, and drop you. They'll work your way back home, but it's just not magical work, right? It's not like the big trucks where you're running from Chicago to Atlanta, Atlanta to Chicago. That's not how this works. This is all expedited. It's overnight delivery. We don't always know where we're going. It's kind of like you're a firefighter, and firefighters don't know when the next house fire or car fire, wherever there's going to be. But when they get called, they go. All right. I'm from Texas. Am I able to just stay around Texas? No, that's very difficult to do. You won't make any money. We do nationwide service. So are you guys using 26 box? We aren't, but we do. We use it. The brokerage side is going to, if someday you're your own carrier, sometimes a lot of people will start in this business with us. They learn this business. Some people want to be a C5. They try to go off on their own and do their things. We've had a lot of drivers that returned. We had 5 drivers that had left us in the past, just returned in this last week or two, or for sure the last month. We had a guy with us for 4 years. One of our best owner operators. He left us. He was gone for a year and he came back and he said he was overpromised more money, but they didn't have any work. So, again, we're not perfect, but we will give you our very best. We are committed to this business. Vehicles. Okay. Sue, you answered that one. So your hot spots are North Carolina, South Carolina. that is a hot spot, definitely a hot spot. But so is Chicago. Chicago is a big well. In fact, Chicago is a huge producer. There's a lot of flights, there's boats, there's all kinds of trains come in there. And something I want to talk about at this point is we go into Canada as well. So you need a passport if you want to take runs to Canada. If you want to pick up from a port, you have to have a TWIC card. You can pick up at an airport, but we can't deliver to airports. That's one thing that we want to go through. The next phase is to get TSA approved, and then they have to do an SDTA on you, which is a security threat assessment on you. So we have to be approved as a company. You have to be approved as a owner operator. Okay, I'm going to go back to how to get this started, and the recruiters will help you with this. All right, this is very easy. You go to irs.gov. Okay, now keep in mind you already might have your EIN number. If you have it, that's great. I know that this will be boring to you. Or you might have an LLC. If you have an existing LLC or existing EIN number, not your Social Security number, we can accept it, but we have to have the paperwork to prove it. So the bank's going to need that same paperwork. So the government gives everybody a Social Security number, and then they actually will give you another number as a sole proprietor. And it's super easy. You go to their page, and I'm going to go right here down to business and self-employed. Oh, I just saw it. There's several ways here. Here's your employer identification number right here. Just click on that. And of course, I'm recording. I'm gonna have to go back. You'd love the government. The government, I don't know. Here's apply for an EIN number. Let's see if this works. All right, right here. There's a button right here. So if you can't find it the first time, you got to go around and figure it out. You just begin the application. It's super simple. You put on sole proprietor, unless you're a corporation or LLC. An LLC, then you would be also tied to that particular state. You hit sole proprietor again, tells you about taxes, tells you everything that you're self-employed, you're independent. You're doing it to start a business. Yes, you're doing it for banking purposes. And then at this point, I can't go any further because I have to put all my information in here other than you put sole proprietor because it ties you to the Social Security number. The following screen is going to want your trade name. You got to have a business name, and it can't be your personal name. You can be your last name, logistics, expediting. Like it can be Ramsden Logistics, Ramsden Expedite. You can have whatever you want. You could come up with the craziest name. It's not a big deal. It's just a legal process for how the government gets their tax money, and you have to file. So that's where it starts. And in fact, there's a couple things here that I'll go through with you, how to get started. So there is a non-refundable $25 application fee, okay? We get a lot of requests. We got to make sure that you're serious and you want to do this business. Office will send you a credit card form for the payment. In the meantime, you need to download your CAM scanner in your phone. It's a free app, and that's how you send documents to us, and you send the proof of delivery. When you pick it up, it's a BOL, bill of lading. When you deliver it, it's a proof of delivery. We need that signed so we all can get paid. You take a photo of your driver's license using CAM scanner, and you send it to your recruiter. Then you take a photo of your EIN and send it to your recruiter. And then we're going to take photos, or you need to take photos of your vehicle dimensions, exterior sides. We want to make sure your vehicle's not stickered up with all kinds of funny different stickers on it, and the GVWR. Now, if you're renting it, we'll need a rental agreement reservation. I'm going to have Sue go into that. If you own it, we need your vehicle registration. After your application fee is paid, our fleet manager will pull your MVR. Then you need to provide us a COI from your insurance agent. We also recommend Toby Hartman. He does the same thing. He has a non-refundable $25 application fee. That's optional. You don't have to use him. You can find anybody you want, but we can just tell you he's very good at it. He knows exactly what we need. And then you download your necessary apps, and then you're scheduled for orientation and contract signing. And then dispatch comes in, the ops team, and we'll take over from there and start dispatching loads. We've had guys get all this done in one day. Some take a day, some take a week, some take a month, some take a year. It doesn't matter. We'll work with it. Even if it takes you a year to get it together, we'll work with you. So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to play this video here. The other thing that I recommend going to is go to our YouTube channel. It's called C5 Expedite. This is a great video on how to do a walk around. I do a couple videos on how to prepare for expediting life. Can't talk straight today. This one is on Toby, and I'm gonna let you, this is just a minute or so here.
Why did Amazon send me $20,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you.
You're getting really close to start driving and hauling loads for C5 Expedite. At this time, you probably already filled out the career section on their form.
Can you turn it up, Dean?
The loudest I can go. So
they've said, hey, we need you to work on getting applied to our insurance program. This is where I come into place. My name's Toby Hartman, and I run MM Insurance in Wisconsin. We are your go-to spot for getting you on the road as fast as possible, approved to drive for C5 Expedite. They have certain insurance requirements, and we've worked with them for years on making sure that the insurance requirements match them on the first time around. Our system communicates directly with them, so they know as soon as you know that you're approved to drive. The way that you get this started is to use the application right here. It will go to this page, and you'll fill out your name, your address, what kind of vehicle you have, the VIN number, your driver's license information, etc. And we'll get you on the road driving for C5 in under 24 hours. Some states take a little bit longer, but our main turnaround time is under 24 hours, that your insurance proposal will be in your hands and can be ready to be issued the same day. Okay, when we go back here, if you have questions, this NTL page, ntl.insurewithmm.com, has a lot of other things available too. You can make the payment. You can work on DOT compliance or make changes once you have a policy. But the main thing I want to direct you to, if you're just now driving, is the frequently asked questions section. I have all sorts of questions that people ask time and time again. You'll probably have as well. And the FAQ section is where you can find those answers. We're happy to help. We want to get you on the road as fast as possible. Please fill out this onboarding form, and we will get you on the road.
Okay. So what I'm going to do for now is, just give me 1 second here. I'm going to stop sharing, and then I'm going to stop recording here.